All right, guys. So I turned off the Clemson Georgia game. I'm just gonna make the video right now. Of course, you already know I already got my Bama gear on. I got food. You guys can't see it, but to the right of me or on the countertop right here. That's why I just thought it was a good idea to make the video. But Clemson, guys, is a poverty. I mean, no, they're not poverty, but they're no longer the team they're no longer the program that we thought they are. They are no longer a power. They're not a superpower in college football anymore. They're a good football team. And I think that's all there will be. And let's be honest, the reason why I would still consider them a good football team is because of talent. And it's crazy as all hell how the last 4 years have been some of the greatest recruiting classes in Clemson's history. And I'm not just talking about per talent, right? I'm not talking about like, hey, Clemson got like 18, 19 guys, but like maybe 9 or 10 of them ended up being great players. I'm talking about from top to bottom. If we combine quantity and quality together, and then hell, I mean, even NFL draft results and development, Clemson has produced some amazing NFL players over the last 4 years. Matter of fact, if we take a look at what happened last year, what happened? Last year, what happened? You had another first round pick in Clemson end up going into the NFL draft. So even though Clemson hasn't been in the playoffs since the COVID year, Clemson still has the ability to develop players, to send players out into the NFL draft. But I think the only thing that's different is that they've recruited better. They've recruited a lot better. Now, the one thing that I'll say about Clemson is that Dabo Swinney, this is Les Miles. Right, because even after Les Miles won that national championship, and then he had a pretty solid 4-year span. I'll even count 2012. 2012 was a very, very good year as well. They were very close to potentially making it to the SEC championship game if they just would have beat Bama in 2012. But after that year, I mean, it was just straight poverty. Now, LSU was still getting great recruiting classes. They brought in a lot of talent that was getting drafted constantly into the NFL. But Les Miles could never win. He never could beat Bama. Right? I mean, but the one thing too that hurt Les Miles was his inability to adapt. He just wouldn't adapt to the modern game of college football. Well, look what we're seeing right now with Dabo Swinney. His inability to adapt to the modern game of college football. Not utilizing the transfer portal. His offenses that I've heard from a lot of Clemson fans, and I'm seeing it right now, it's just stale. It's very, very stagnant. It's very boring. And listen, to Dabo's defense, he tried to bring in Garrett Riley, the younger brother of Lincoln Riley, and he tried to bring them in, and he tried to make it work. And Garrett Riley, he coached TCU to a national championship as an offensive coordinator, but Clemson's offense, after watching this shit against Georgia, it looks worse. And listen, Georgia has a great defense. We all know this. Georgia has a great defense. But I'm just watching, even like through the first quarter, self-inflicting mistakes. If you're going to beat Georgia, if you're going to put up points against Georgia, you can't make self-inflicting mistakes. And that's something that we've seen all game. It's just been self-inflicting mistake after mistake after mistake. Cade Klubnik can't read a defense. His inability to process, his ball placement has been terrible. He's been freaking out in the pocket. He's not even stepping up into he's not even climbing in the pocket and stepping into a lot of his throws. He's trying to make a lot of off-platform plays. He's bailing out in the pocket too quickly. If he just would have stood strong and let routes develop, they were there. The problem is, again, he would just bail out too quickly, and when he's in the pocket, he tries to go outside of it, and it's just the common. He's not good. Again, I can go on a 20-minute rant about Cade Klubnik. He can't play. He cannot play at a high level in college football. And Cade Klubnik, if he does declare for the NFL draft, which he should not do, he should either stay another year, or he should transfer out of the Clemson program to start afresh, just like how DJ did. And that's the crazy part is that you replace DJ Uiagalelei for Cade Klubnik, which they're both 5-star. Ironically, they're both 5-star quarterbacks, and they simply couldn't develop. Now, DJ Uiagalelei left and didn't get any better. Cade Klubnik, we'll see what the tale is about him. But right now, in terms of scouting and player development at the quarterback position, it has been terrible. And Clemson's defense, I'm just watching them out there right now. So much talent. DeMonte Cathcart, Peter Woods, TJ Parker. So much talent. Just on their defensive line and depth alone, Clemson is very good there. And the score is not going to end. The score is going to tell you that Clemson's defense or their defensive line is trash. But when you watch this full game and you just watch how terrible Clemson's offense is and how quick the time of possession has flipped, can you blame Clemson's defense for giving up the points that they did? I mean, they're tired. They're worn down to death. And Georgia has, the box score at the end. And I don't know what the box score is because I'm just recording this in the middle of the game. But I can tell you, it is probably going to be it's going to be at least 2-1. It was complete dominance, and it's because Clemson's offense Georgia again. I'm not taking away anything from Georgia. They did a tremendous job defensively in terms of containment, making the adjustments to contain him. Their defensive line, in terms of playing gap, in terms of playing gap sound defense, has been absolutely amazing. I definitely think, again, Clemson can't run the football. Georgia's found the ability to, the one thing that Georgia's great at is defending against the run. Their linebackers look extremely explosive. The defensive line, again, is very, very disciplined. They're playing gap sound defense. They're controlling the line of scrimmage. Clemson's offensive line is barely even generating any pushes. It's just nothing you can do, man. And then these receivers for Clemson, I don't think it's all on them. I think a lot of it is on Cade Klubnik because a lot of the routes are there. Cade's just not seeing it. But these are not the best receivers in the world. They have downgraded. Let's just be honest. They've downgraded at receiver. Their best receiver on the team, honestly, is their tight end and Jake Brennistill. And even Jake Brennistill, let's be honest, he had a shitty game today. Had a few costly drops. This is a mess. Garrett Riley has been terrible for them as an offensive coordinator. I don't think any of his play calls or his schematics has been groundbreaking. It's just been very boring, stagnant, and it just looks very. It's bland. It's just a very bland offense. A very bland offense with a very bland quarterback, with very bland personnel on the offensive side of the ball, and the defense once again for the third year in a row has to carry the work. Maybe the fourth season in a row, where Clemson has a great defense, but their offense is just trash. Guys, I still have Clemson winning the ACC. But that's not saying anything because the ACC conference has been shit. Virginia Tech is losing to Vanderbilt, for God's sakes. And it's not like Virginia Tech is barely losing. They're getting their ass kicked by Vanderbilt. Now, again, will that change by the end of this video? Maybe. But this is not looking good. Georgia Tech is looking like a damn superpower in that damn conference. And we'll see what Miami looks like against Florida. But this is not looking good. The ACC might be the worst conference in the country. Worst Power 4 team in the country, bar none. It's crazy. I have nothing to say. I feel bad for Clemson fans. Because this is the last 3 years where their offense has shown barely any improvement. And their defense has to carry the load again. It's insane. It's absolutely insane, man. So we'll see what happens, man. But this Georgia Clemson shit, I'm turning it off, and I'm gonna get ready at least for the Miami Florida game, and then we'll be coming on, and I can't wait to see what we do. But Clemson, you guys are done. You have to fire Dabo Swinney by the end of the season, because if you don't, you're just gonna have a Les Miles issue, and I don't know if you guys want that to happen.